talk. Bitch, I'm taking calls. No small talk.
What's good, everybody? This is Where's My 40 Acres podcast. You're listening to the Boob Tube, and we're doing the season finale for Insecure, which aired Sunday, episode 8, season 3, named Ghost Like. It is not what I thought it was going to be. I expected Ghost Like to completely just deal with what was going on with Nathan, but they definitely took Ghost Like to a whole nother level.
They really did.
Yeah, I appreciated that because I never know what this show is doing, and that's because it just has some really amazing fucking writers on it. So, yeah, we're gonna get into it. First, let me address this real quick. I try not to do like if me and Twan was talking about Bruce Lee movies, then I don't care if we have a woman's voice on the show. I would love to have a woman's voice on the show if we talk about kung fu shit, because I think that's like a dope element that you don't hear a lot in podcasting. But when we're talking about Insecure, a show like written about women from from Black women's perspective, with Black women executive producers, Black women directors, Regina King directed this episode. Stuff like that is important to me. So I'm like, I want to have a woman's voice in the show. And that's just not happening tonight. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's nobody's fault. Like, people got stuff going on in their lives, but we podcast regularly every week, and I try to keep us on this schedule. You know, that's just how it is. Deidre is out. She is celebrating her birthday, and I'm not about to text her and be like, can you stop doing what you're doing and come do this review with us? I'm not about to do that.
Enjoy your birthday.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. We'll get her opinion next week, as we were going to do anyway. I knew back in August 11th, when the day before the first episode of Insecure dropped, that on October 2nd, when we did this review for the finale, Deidre was not going to be here. I already knew that. So I was prepared for that. Joy is really busy. It's New York Comic Con week. She's in that business. So I'm sure she's like drained as fuck. Ashley is downstairs sipping tea. It's hard being a special education instructor. And she don't like podcasting. I don't. She sounds great on the mic, but Ashley does not like podcasting.
It's so weird because she's such a natural.
And she is, but like,
seems like she enjoys herself when she does it. Like,
you got to get her in the chair though. Like, and I'm not about to physically go downstairs and pick her up and bring her up here. See, now she walks in the room. Now she walks in the room.
Yeah. You're going to bring your ass up here and do this thing, talk about this women and feminism. Come on. Like, do this shit now.
What plug?
It's me saying something.
Okay.
Wow.
What?
Like, you can...
No, your microphone is not on.
Well, then, tell her, pull up a microphone, man.
I'm not making fun of you. I was explaining why there are no women on the show tonight.
Oh, okay.
We giving out addendums and
right.
Stuff. Like...
Right.
Making sure, because some stuff we just not gonna go deep into.
Can you shut my door?
I'm just tired.
We know.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I've never done this before ever, and trust and believe. If you were looking for an opportunity to be a guest on the podcast tonight, this was it. So,
responded to that.
Boo-hoo.
You didn't check.
I did.
Did you see it?
I did. I saw responses. I responded to them. Like I say, if you was looking for an opportunity to get up here on this podcast, be ratchet and talk shit with us, tonight was your opportunity. So when I put that word out on Facebook, like, hey, I need somebody like, I need a Black woman or a woman's voice like right now for this podcast. And I've already hit up my side contacts. I've already hit up my usuals who come through for us last minute. Hey, that was it. I don't know if that's going to ever happen again. We'll see though. It could. Probably won't. Don't you hate when you don't play and you miss the lottery? You like, them my numbers. Them was your numbers. them was your numbers. Somebody out there listening.
Those are numbers I always play.
I was on Twitter. I wasn't on Facebook. Like, them was your numbers. Be everywhere. Be everywhere.
Your time. That's just all it was. It just wasn't your time.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're gonna have a hard time reclaiming it. All right. So episode 8, Ghost Like. So the theme, like I said, I thought it was going to be about Nathan, like Nathan coming back. But
which is part of it. It's part of it. But you thought that was going to be the whole 35 minutes. You know
so that's a tricky way to look at it, right? Because it is part of it, but it's not the ghost. There's so many definitions of ghosting, of ghost.
And they put them all in there.
They did. They did,
put
and
them all in there.
that's like I like that play on words that they did. It was very Triple Entendre of them to do that, and I figured they would just be like, "Yo, Nathan, why you ghosting?" So I figured Issa might ghost him, like, or maybe there'd be some ghosting to somebody else. That's not really what happened. What they were playing with was the fact that all of these people from your past are just popping up on the same day. And even Kelly's like, damn, nigga, we seeing ghosts, like, and they did the whole Last Dragon film shit in a cemetery. So that played into it.
Dude, like, shit.
It was levels.
Shit that you, like, with Molly at work, shit that she thought was dead came back.
Bro, it was, oh, nigga, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
You right.
Shit that she thought was dead came right back.
Nigga, levels. Look at all these levels. Look at all these levels. This shit look like skyscraper. Look at all these levels. Feeling like The Rock. Look at all these levels. So yeah, that's pretty much what the theme was. The theme was people's past coming back. And it was kind of like they were doing a trilogy. And you know, in a trilogy, you see people that you haven't seen since the first film, and you learn something new or different about them. The whole shit with Jared was like the end of that trilogy.
Yeah.
So
bring it back people you weren't expecting.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't expect to see Jared.
That's that big. Like I felt like Molly up there. Like, that's him? Oh shit.
I'm glad we got to see Quantrell too. I ain't seen Quantrell since Kelly never talked about this nigga on the show ever, but it was nice to see him return. She just got random ghosts.
Thank you, Quantrell.
I'm about to go holler at this old Quantrell looking ass nigga. I'll be right back. Ain't nobody got a real name with Kelly. Everybody got an adjective.
Kelly was so great too, man.
It's so
great.
All her adjectives is pronouns. Who that little short black nigga? Come here, little short black nigga. What you doing over there, little short black nigga? Being short, little, and black? Come here. That's Kelly. So let's jump into it. Let's see. Issa opens up the episode trying to do her music with a Q thing. And it's not going so well. She's going to black businesses, and one dude accused her of being homeless and trying to get free food. See, y'all getting so creative. The black woman was like, sound like you trying to take money out of my pocket, which is kind of true. And then she went to the niggas, and niggas do what niggas do, is the bitches coming. And she's like, one bitch. So then she even told her neighbor that he could come and he could bring his old shitting on the patio ass dog.
Yeah, the dog that he don't have.
And he was drinking out of a mug that said big coffee mug or some shit. Huge, I think it said huge mug. And he looked like he might come if she let him bring the dog that he's not supposed to have. And then her crazy ass neighbor upstairs.
Oh, she was ready.
Yeah, she was like, girl, I'll come. And it's like, see, this the end. With them is slim pickings.
She only thing she asked, like, what it was.
She didn't. She was listening. Coming. She was just listening with her crazy ass ears. Girl, I'll come to your party. Nope. Nope. Because you would be bringing all them imaginary squirrels. Nope.
Everything.
Nope. So Issa decides, I'm giving up. And she goes to talk to Molly. And Molly is not very helpful or encouraging. Molly is like, girl, you done with music with a Q? Because I didn't really see it for that anyway.
And that whole response to that is gonna come back. That's a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But like, we gotta be real. Issa thought she was gonna get a whole block party up
in 2 weeks.
In like, yeah.
I think she said like, 6 weeks. Did she say 6 weeks? And we laughed.
Like for real, like I felt like she had planned it for next year. It'd still been too early. Like, you know what I mean?
You need at least a year. Like you for sure need at least a year.
Dude, like you need a couple months just for the permits. Just to get the permits through.
Bro, permits take 6 weeks. Like every other piece of ID you got to get from the government.
Don't understand. Like they take you got to get that. You got to fill your part out. Then they got to send it off somewhere. And then they're going to send it back to you. You got to send it back somewhere.
Some very slow reading white man at the Pentagon looks at your shit.
Like for like 6 different permits. So.
Yeah, no, I did not see it. Did not see it happening for her at all. I was completely cool with the idea. I would have been enthusiastic with her about it, but 6 weeks is 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks too short. No, my bad. Excuse me. 6 weeks is 6 weeks. That's 16 months too short.
No, 6 weeks hard. 6 weeks hard if you trying to throw a party for somebody at a restaurant. You got to find a restaurant. You got to hope they got openings that day.
Bruh.
You know what I mean? Like,
even with the reserve app that you can go to now, I forgot what it's table
like,
reservation or something.
Like open table.
Yeah, open table. Like that's what it's called. Them tables be closed.
Yeah, because you talk about, hey man, I'm trying to bring in like 15, 20 people. Like,
we have 19 seats available.
You got to talk to our special hostess who does those type of parties.
Yo,
like,
restaurants actually have a reservation person now. They have a nigga on staff whose only job is to read your reservation emails and let you know if they can or if they can't. Typically, they can't. 6 weeks notice. We need about 8. I'm sorry, we're booked every Saturday for the next 18 Saturdays. Sorry.
Yeah, and she swore she was gonna get that done. Like,
yeah, nah, wasn't happening.
So like, it was so weird because it was like, I don't know why the hell you thought that, but it was also weird because none of your friends were like, hey. This might take a little bit longer.
Bro, they just laughed at her. I thought that was kind of disrespectful. They just straight up laughed at her.
But it kind of shows how they feel about Issa. Like,
she's silly.
Issa's kind of like their scatterbrained friend.
Issa's so silly. She come from a rich family. Yeah. She's so silly.
Could you think about it, like Molly got her shit. Kelly got her shit together. Kelly probably got her shit together more than everybody in the group.
Oh, yeah. Kelly can't afford to not have her shit together, though, because she's Kelly.
Tasha got her shit together and the family.
You mean Tiffany?
You know what I mean? Tiffany, yeah. Tiffany, my bad.
I think Tasha is the neighbor.
Yeah. Tiffany got her shit together and the family. Like, Issa's the only one. So, when she came up with these ideas, they all like, yeah, we got you, and we support you, but I don't think none of them believed that she could do it.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's why they laughed at her name and everything. They didn't see it for her. They really didn't see it for her. So her and Molly are talking, and Issa is absolutely in a corny mood. In a very bright, corny mood, but it's her birthday, I guess is why she acting like this.
Yeah.
Or she starts off by ordering a taco platter, a burrito platter, and a soul food platter or something like that.
No, there was so much food that came out.
It was a lot of food.
A lot of food came out.
Molly ordered a lot of vegetables because she needed to keep her thighs in check. She was showing them off this episode. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yvonne Orji clearly be in the gym. Issa was showing off her legs too this episode. She's really small, but like in a healthy way. She's like in a very healthy way. Because
she definitely slimmed down from just going from awkward black girl to insecure. She slimmed down a lot.
Yeah, when you go into
like, hey, when you living your best life, man.
Hey, stretch your meanest strut, best life. I don't appreciate her saying things like Nathan is Sandra Bullocked.
Oh, yeah, that was corny.
I do appreciate her making Molly her honorary boyfriend, though. That was a nice little running joke theme through this episode because it fit. I mean, if the shoe fits, Cinderella, nigga.
Yeah, like you my boo, like this my girl.
Yeah, it was it was what it was. So they talked about how Molly is gonna make sure that her birthday is perfect because they don't want Issa's birthday to be like it was last year because it was terrible. So we starting off,
and she turned it 30. It's the big 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Change is coming.
That's a milestone.
That's a play on it too, right? Like Issa, the ending theme of this episode being that Issa is finally like wants to take care of things herself, and that kind of circles back to bite Molly in the ass later. We'll talk about that when we get there, but just the whole ending of her having her own shit, establishing her own self and doing it all herself and realizing that she needs to be able to do that. Like she has to own her. That's good. So that big 30 will change you too, my nigga. You really do be feeling different after 30 about a lot of shit. A lot of you niggas ain't worth 30. That's pretty much it. Y'all ain't worth attention after 30. So Molly is talking about how she did what she had to do to set herself up on that partner track And Issa's like, you still did that big head nigga Torian dirty, but you know.
Yeah, she was like, that's shady, you know, and then she was like, no, that's how I gotta do this. Like, no, we talked about last week. It was shady.
We did. It was shady in a way that I understand. In corporate America, you do have to do that. But the way she handled it afterwards, it just didn't work because Molly and she said it this episode, she was being selfish and she really wasn't thinking about anybody else. She was just expecting people to accept what she's doing because she got to do her, right? She like, I got to do me. I got to get myself straight, and people should understand that. And the whole, if I was a nigga and I did this, people would be telling me, yo, you got to get yours, dog. And guess what, Molly, that shit don't work for niggas either. Niggas fight all the time over niggas doing shit like that to them.
But I think the telling thing was at the end of the episode when she was talking, like she said all this stuff, and Issa said, "That's not you." You know what I mean? Like you can try to play like that doesn't bother you. You know what I mean? And you're just gonna be this whole alone person, but that's not you.
Nah.
And if it's not you, that's fully okay. Like some people can go on a thing and do stuff like that and know that I'm burning every bridge and I'm be fine to be alone in this place. You know what I mean? But some people can't. And it doesn't mean that you forsake moving up in the company and stuff. You just gonna go about it a different way.
That's how a lot of people get into high positions. That's how a lot of people get into very high positions in their company, right? For you to be CEOs and CIOs and CFOs and stuff like that, vice presidents of this and leaders of these companies and starting all of these and ended up on Forbes list of the greatest fucking men in America and shit like that. A lot of those dudes are sociopaths. They stepped on a lot of people. They burned a lot of bridges. They damaged a lot of relationships to get where they needed to get, because in the end, for them, it was all about being that one nigga on top. If that's not your mentality, you're going to crash and fucking burn. Because you need to be able to maintain that confidence that you don't give a fuck. If you are not able to maintain that, somebody at some point gonna read that shit and they gonna knock your ass right back down. Molly is not that person. She does not have that confidence about her. Like Chad is that nigga. Chad is absolutely that type of nigga that could do that.
Now Save Chad. Save Chad's different.
You know what it is though? You know why it's different? Because Chad has always been like that. That's why it's different.
That's why it's different.
The only reason it's different is because he's always been like that. If Molly had always been like that, nobody would be looking at her. We wouldn't be looking at her funny. If they had introduced her character like that, we would not be looking at her funny. But they didn't. So we see, but she goes back to work. And Torian comes out of she goes back to work and she finds out that her and Torian have been called into the office by the partners. And they won the case. So they will be now leading it. And they will be co-leads.
The case they were working on.
Yeah, they were. He wanted her as his assistant because he old big-headed bitch. And she wanted his spot because she greedy and selfish. They worked perfect together. They pulled some hocus pocus ass magic out their ass, and they actually, acquired these clients. So now they need it is the biggest pull for this firm currently. And they like the way that Molly and Torian handled the situation. So they will now be co-leads. They are a couple.
The thing is now when I look back at the episode before, you know what I mean? And Torian has done his stuff. Like he had that type of personality, and even the women said that. So I'm not even changing that part. But like going back on that when he had that phone call with her, when I gotta come into do the judge stuff with the briefs and stuff like that. He wanted her to hold up, right? I was sitting talking to my girl, and she brought up a good point, and I was like, I didn't see it from that spot. She's like, I don't think he was really being that selfish. She was like, from his point of view, Molly's a new lawyer, new to the firm, ain't never worked at. This is a big case that he's the lead on. So whatever happens is gonna fall back on him. And she was like, him wanting to just see, like, I want to see what you're doing before we bring it to the partners. She was like, I fully understand that. And I was like, you know what? I can see that. And I mean, and it kind of, when we get to the end, we just gonna do Molly's whole story now.
No. We're gonna go through.
Okay.
We're gonna go through the episode.
All right, but yeah, when it gets to the end, you can kind of see like everything comes back to roost. But like, I thought that was like, I didn't see it like, because I was kind of going off on how he was when we first saw him and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, she made it. I like because she's like, you made a good point because she's like, if somebody was new coming to my job and I was the lead on something. And they just got here, and I ain't never seen them work. Whether I feel like they qualified or not, she's like, "Is my name on it? I'm gonna want to see it before."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "You bring up a good point."
I wonder if Torian would have more support from us if we saw the case and the world of Insecure from his point of view, because like I can imagine, like I was training somebody this year, right, and I'm trying to imagine. Well, first of all, you got to understand me, cynical me. If somebody did it to me, I would sit and watch if they crash or burn. And if they didn't, I'd be like, good job. Because at the end of the day, it's all about how you handle yourself in the meetings when you're talking to people and how you carry it. So, you can like let somebody know. But if somebody want to gun ho do some shit like that and they fuck up, with me, that shit's not going to fall back on me. When we get in the meeting, I'm going to be like, I'm not going to like throw you under the bus or nothing. But I'm also not gonna dive on no grenades for your ass if you did that. Like that's just how it is. So fair game. So I'm wondering if it would be different from Torian's point of view from that standpoint. From Molly's point of view, though, you got to look at the way the cameras were angled. They really made Torian look like this person who talked over people, who took their ideas and like repeated them, or felt like he was expounding upon them. That. Right, but I'm wondering. Again, we're seeing that from Molly's angle. And it's not like the other women didn't clarify that he does do that. He does show off. But I feel like from what we saw at the end of this episode, they have developed a type of kind of like a frenemy culture of understanding that they all got their certain quirks. And when we saw it in the first episode, we were like, oh, they hate this nigga. And then when we see at the end of this episode, kind of presents a little different, like a full circle picture.
Hey, and it could have went with both sides because, I think from Molly seeing it, she saw him as the aggressive power player, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was trying to do that. But I think she also, even though she was friendly with the women, she looked down on them. Remember, she even said to Issa, like, I don't want to be one of them women who just like just be fine to be stuck at associate.
Yep.
And I remember when she said that, my girl popped out like, how you know that they aren't moving up to get that close? Or how you know they just not fully happy where they are? Like you automatically put them in because they not doing the way you expect them to do it, then they're just weak or they're settling.
Right.
So she looked at them, at Torian, and got her first thing. She looked at them and got her first thing. And then in her being so hungry to climb a ladder extremely quick, maybe she never got the whole picture.
Nah. And I kind of look at it as Molly being like, I'm on that path to make partner. And all I kept thinking, every time she says, I'm like, but you don't even know if you want to stay here. Like that'll be like me saying, man, I can't wait to be on that path to be the CFO. And I'm like, that don't make sense because I don't even know if I want to stay in this career. Like, I don't even know if I want to stay here. So working that hard, like that's a lot of work. That's a lot of dedication for a job that she just fucking started. You just got hired at this black firm. You already trying to make partner? Do you even like these people? Question, do these people even like you? How you gonna make partner when you don't even understand the culture yet? She just putting the cart before the horse and in the worst way possible. Ass backwards, cart before the horse. So it goes how it goes. But like, yeah, Torian is not fucking with her. He is definitely salty. Issa is, now that she done given up on her little musicality shit with a Q, she is interviewing for the Beat Crew. And she's back, and they brought Eli back. So that's the kind of the first like ghost like. We ain't really seen Eli since then. And she's talking to him. And I'm not sure he's convinced by her interview. Like, I don't know. Her passion in the interview it feels helter-skelter. And I feel like he sees that. Like, I feel like he's a person that in person where she met him, he was less business You know, he was more friendly, more approachable, you know, and he was showing off his kids and stuff. And he was like, you know, he was conversating with her, word it's not real. He's conversing with her, just, you know, very free. No hold ups, nothing like that. We even looked at him and was like, hey, that might be New Bay. You know, Eli Bay. That might be New Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this interview, it's not the same. He is as serious. He's not playing. He's looking to recruit somebody. He knows what their budget is or what it could be when he looks at it again. It changes.
And you got to know, like, too, like, that's a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to, most nonprofits are small. I used to work in a nonprofit. Like, if you didn't impress the person or they automatically felt like you could work, that's a lot of money to be going off to somebody who you like, I don't know if they can do it or not. You know what I mean? And like you said, it could have been a thing where he like, you know, I was kind of feeling that, and then maybe, you know, when they got into the thing, he wasn't as impressed. Or, you know, they could be showing just as much to Issa that, hey, just because this is something you really want and something you might be good at, it doesn't mean that this junk is going to be a knockout, because life don't work that way.
We didn't get to see the whole interview, but I wish that they had, if they were going to like show her winning him over. This is another person of color. I absolutely feel like she could have told him the real reason she left We Got Y'all. Because that white hand was holding up them black kids. And that shit is problematic. And Eli absolutely would have understood that shit. I feel like he's a nigga that's woke enough to get it. But that doesn't seem like what she told him. She was like, I need to change. I hate when I hear people say that in interviews. I just need to change. If I'm a recruiter, I'm like, what the fuck? So are you going to need to change next week after we hire you? Like, what does that mean?
It's such a, when you're going for a job, it's such a line on, what's it, like, sharing enough and letting people understanding and oversharing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think she kind of flew on the thing of, I just need to change. But like, just like you said, saying something like, you know what, I was at this place and I really enjoyed being there, but there were some issues when I look around and I saw a bunch of people who didn't look like the population we were serving. And then when we got schools that came back and were giving us feedback, I was trying to give that feedback to them so we can make some changes. It wasn't taken seriously and stuff like that. And I didn't feel like we were doing right by the kids we were working with to go that way. And that's why I left. Saying something like that, that's going to make the employer look at you like you got some integrity, you got some morals, you got some values. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, again, Issa awkward. So
yeah, that's absolutely not what she did. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit. At this point, I hope y'all have been paying attention to the music that's been playing in the background for this episode, because they opened up with Mac Miller, R.I.P. And at this point now, they're playing the internet. So already, this episode is off the chain. Later on, we're going to get some Miguel and some other people. This season finale was loaded with jams. Jam upon jam. That fucking remake to Glow is better than the original. I went back and I compared. That new Glow remake is better than the original.
But who?
You didn't hear it at the end?
No, maybe
Hold on, bro. But you're kidding me, right?
Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. The last song they played, right?
When she was putting up the apartment, like getting her apartment straight? Yeah. That's a remake of the Glow song from The Last Dragon. When you got that glow, doom doom, dun 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 dun. When you got that glow, that. But he only sings that part. Like the rest of the song is like, you're hip, you're hot, you come, you're cool, you're down, you're in, you're out, you're done, dun, dun, dun. Like that's how. Wow, that really came out perfectly. I did not.
That's probably why I didn't even recognize it, man.
I didn't expect it to come out that fluid, because them is not the lyrics, y'all.
It did, man. You took it back to 85.
Right. It actually made sense. So I'm gonna go back and write those lyrics down and use them later in the future. But that's how the song originally goes, and then they jump into the hook when you got the Glow hook. So the person who remade it was like, listen, this is the best part of the song, so we gonna make an actual R&B dance song using that chorus sample. And the woman who did it, I'm gonna go look up her name, she fucking nailed it. That song is dope as shit, and I actually had heard it before I got to this episode, and I was like, oh, that's the Glow song from The Last Dragon. I wonder why that's on here. Like, that's a dope ass remake though. That's what's up. And then I see this episode, and the theme at the movie night shit was The Last Dragon, which is an awesome film to watch outside with a bunch of other black ass people. I need that shit in my life.
Was Kelly dressed up like showing?
Yes, she was, because Issa said that shit.
So great. Like, she had the red pants on, she had her hair, the little 3 thing. It was so subtle, but like I looked at it, I like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, she was dope. Like, that's just a dope movie to start off with first. Like, you just cemented your audience. Niggas are coming back now. What's next? A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Dead Presidents. What other black films we watching? The Wood. Let's do The Wood, y'all. That's a classic. Ghetto black people love The Wood. But I'm trying to find an artist who actually sings this song. I had to go pull up the season 3 joint. It is Victoria Monet. Victoria Monet. I don't know if this is going. No, it's not gonna work. Let me see. It is like I said, just go back and compare them. Like, go back and listen. Actually, it should have been playing. Go back and compare them, man. It's drastically different sounds for whatever reason. But damn, where the fuck did I leave off? Excuse me, I'm cursing a lot. Yeah, Mac Miller, internet, songs were great. Nathan pops up walking down the street, and Molly catches this nigga and is like, nigga, what is you doing? Nathan's like, I'm about to go see Issa. And Molly's like, it's her 30th, nigga, goodbye.
Friend block.
And at that point, I was like, no.
See, at that point, I ain't really had a problem with it.
I did. I saw that comment. Like, Issa, like, we've been watching this show enough. Issa absolutely, you can't do that. I'm sorry, you can't. Like, you got to let her confront this nigga.
Two things. Well, man, we might just tell this whole story.
I mean, that's
so
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, we might could we gonna want to talk about it. Like,
all right, go ahead. Let's get Nathan out of here. Ghostlight. Let's get him Ghostlight.
All right, so you I mean, you start with the first jump. I jump in.
Yeah. So okay, so Nathan.
He gets blocked up by Molly and he leaves. And Nathan, I mean, I would say Nathan's looking very contrite and stuff. The actor who played him played a lot of emotion very well, and I was very happy about that.
He knows he's fucked up.
Yes,
because that was a lot of bouquet.
Yeah, but he didn't look like, what's it called?
I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say, because he looked a lot of things to me, so I'm trying to figure out what he didn't look like.
But he looked like a dude who knew like he fucked up. Like, he didn't look like a dude. You know how some dudes know they fuck up, but then try to slide in there like nothing happened?
Yeah, no, no. He was in the doghouse. He absolutely looked like he was in him and Chad could have a drink together right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, he knew he was fucked up, and he was doing what Chad admits to doing later on in the episode. He was trying to make amends, and he knows he's in the doghouse with Issa. He knows that she might not take him back. It's weird because Nathan acts like a kid so much. There's so much innocence in him. When the actor who is actually playing him is really good at having this childlike essence.
There's a lot of emotion that came out in a very short amount of time, and I was here for all of it.
Yeah, but he acts like a little kid. Like, even when Molly is like, "Nope, go," he kind of, man. But I just want, his
lip trembled a little bit. I want to say something, but okay.
Like, he just hopped on his bike and pedaled away. Man. Dang, y'all never get tell him saying nothing, man. And he just left. Yeah. So Molly, friend blocks him. Later on, she tells Issa that nigga popped up and tried to ruin her birthday.
Now, hold it, because me and my girl had a nice long discussion about this. Because she was like, I fully understand that Molly blocked her, and she's like, I probably did the same thing. And I fully understand why Issa was upset about it. You know what I mean? Because it's just an emotional time, right? But the way Molly brought it up, like, there was no other way for Issa to do but get mad.
But she was patting herself on the back for doing it. That's what I'm saying.
She brought it up so nonchalant. She's like, girl, I'm over here doing this, blocking niggas. Like, she did it so nonchalantly that Issa had to be like, hold up, what you say? Run that back real quick.
You could have told a bitch. Like, you didn't tell her.
Like, as a friend, like, you could have came back later and be like, hey, look, just went like you met it after the last dragon. Look, I'm glad you had a happy birthday. I want you to know that I saw Nathan earlier. He tried to come in the thing. I told him not right now because I didn't want to, this your birthday, it's your 30th. You told me that you want to have, a good stress-free day, and that's what I was trying to give you. And then understand that Issa might still come at you because, again, it's a very emotional event. You know what I mean? Something that she struggled with, and you, as a friend, you just kind of got to take that.
It's a lot going on here. You do. It's just a lot going on here. Molly fucked up admitting this shit the way she did. Like, girl, you see me pull that triple double today? Blocking Nathan's all left and right. I'm like, man, and then Issa got mad, and Molly was like, I'm just trying to protect you because you was being Harriet the spy, and which is accurate. She was.
But what she also came over there was like, had me looking fucked up.
True.
Molly, she threw herself in there. You had me looking fucked up.
Selfish. True. And then the conversation was getting very conflicted, but it didn't get aggressively controversial until Molly was like, when a bitch right, a bitch is right. And Issa was like, wait, what, huh? What'd you say? And that's when she told Molly, man, you've been on some real negative shit. Something we said the first episode for a minute now.
Right. Look, right before that conversation, Issa hit her up with saying, I'm thinking about doing a music thing again. We'll probably go in more detail about this later. And the look that Molly gave her, like, bitch, really? You can't do this. It was no support.
Nah.
in the way she talked about it.
I mean, Issa hit her with the truth.
Which was surprising to me.
Issa was like, what's your angle? You gonna be partner up all along with everybody hating you? Cause bitch, that ain't you. That ain't never been you. And literally the next scene is Molly going to work.
All right. Let's get back to Nathan.
I'm going back. No, I can't say one without linking the other one. Like even the passing.
It was so great.
That transition.
That scene was so great, and them looks that they were giving her. It was so
bro. Most niggas don't get a reality check that fast.
Woo.
Like Karma was on the expressway. Like Karma coming, bitch, I got you. And it was Karma got a ticket that night for sure.
Karma's like, man, I'm on the HOV lane right now.
Ain't no traffic on the 405, bitch. Like, it was bad. So Nathan, Issa comes back from handling her business, getting some stuff straight, and she finds the flowers in front of her apartment. Picks them up, reads the card. I don't know who called who, but
the next scene we just see them walking.
Well, she let him in the gate. She let him in the gate to the complex.
What would that be? Like the complex?
It's the gate to the complex.
What would the area be though? It's like a little open area.
The quads? I don't know, nigga.
The quads?
I don't know, nigga. They don't know campus or nothing, but I don't know what
I just like the way you said that. The quads.
I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
Either way, she
open area. Courtyard. That's what it'll be. Sure, the courtyard.
Sure. Ain't no yard, ain't no court, but sure, it's a courtyard. Some things just have names. She walks him into the courtyard. You hear the gate close, and I think the best part of this scene is Nathan going, I'm glad you decided to, and then she stops walking because he is expecting to go into the apartment. She stops.
That little subtle.
Nah, nigga, we can talk outside.
Yeah.
And he realizes that mid-sentence, and he stops and kind of looks at the door, like, "Are we done walking?"
Yeah.
And then looks at her. I can't get. I'm not getting in. Okay, cool.
There was never a pushback from him, though.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
He
never
knew what was
a
up.
push to try to go further. It was the way the dude played. It was a lot of, I'm just happy that I can get this far.
Right.
And this is how far we gonna get. This is how far we gonna get.
Was like, no, cool. I understand. I gotta earn that spot back inside. Okay. He was dealing with some shit, and me and Ashley had a conversation about this one. Because she was like, nah, fuck him. He could at least called. He could have did something, which I'm not going to disagree with. That's absolutely true. It's so easy to send a text message. It's so easy to make a call. But from his standpoint, in typical old me, 3 years ago me would have been like, fuck that nigga, he dirty, fuck him. Me today, dad, has conversations about how people deal with depression and what type of state of mind that puts you in, anxieties. Like, one of the habits that I've seen that comes out of that stuff is self-concern, self-focus, which from the outside looks like selfishness. But in reality, you are trapped in your own head. You are trapped in your own emotions.
Nigga, I would have put all my money that the conversation that you and Ashley had would have been reversed. I'd have put all my money on that.
No, Ashley was straight up like, fuck him.
All my money. All of the money.
And it was funny because Ashley was like so hard on it. She was like, no, fuck him, girl, don't take him back. And I was like, you can't. I'm like, but he sound like he dealing with a depression. Like, he said he was part his house and stuff was in that flood in Houston, which means his family was affected. He probably lost everything. You know, he traveled to get away. He reestablishing footing. He dealing with that. And he went back home for a month, probably to be around family because he's lonely in LA, despite the fact that he with you. And maybe that's where he was going in his head that time y'all was laying in bed. He was missing home. Like, he was thinking about stuff back home that he felt like he needed to take care of. I'm giving you a lot because Insecure only gives us a little bit sometimes to work with. The rest of it's so we can have conversations like this. So that's where I'm at. Nathan seems to be a person who is dealing with depression right now. That's what it looks like. And that trip to Houston is what that was. And him not like, I know that Brandon, he talked to the Uber people though, or the Lyft people about the incident. Right. Because one, that would affect him. I still don't know why he ran from that Lyft when he got in that fight that time. I still feel like he got some shit on his record.
I ain't gonna stay in a fight. Oh man,
I'm not gonna. I still feel like he got something on his record, like something going on there too.
I totally believe that too, but I'm definitely gonna leave this fight because at this point, you just there's nothing that says that the Uber driver is gonna defend me.
True. You know what? You're absolutely right.
We just two niggas that was fighting in a woman's Uber. There's nothing that says she's gonna have my back.
You absolutely right. I know people gonna listen to this and be like, man, Brandon just like niggas standing up for other light skinned niggas. I'm like, fine, whatever.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not surprised that he ran.
Fine, whatever.
If y'all get to fight outside the club, ain't nobody staying.
No, we don't stay. We don't stay. Punches are thrown, we go. But yeah, so he went home and he was home for a month, and he isolated himself. He didn't want to talk to nobody. He wasn't thinking about other people. And from what I have listened to people describe online, in shows, watching TED Talks, reading stuff, that is how depression sometimes manifests itself. You are not thinking about other people. So
it's not even a thing of not thinking about other people, because you are thinking about other people.
Mm-hmm.
You're just thinking that everything you do is either going to hurt or come up bad on that other person.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when he was saying stuff, I'm in my head, because this is just this is my line of work. I'm checking off depression symptoms, almost like I was diagnosing the person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm checking off the symptoms as he says them. And I thought it was a very deft way of handling it without really going into it. Because I think everybody agreed, and I think that's why the conversations online were very nuanced, and they were kind of actual good conversations, because the way that they wrote it and the way that the character played it, it was all being contrite. You know, isolating yourself, going off to go on your own, completely shutting down from everybody that you know because you become overwhelmed, or because that depression just hits you, because it can definitely go in waves like that, is something that happens a lot. A lot of people do just get up and leave. If, you know, especially when you're an adult and you can't, there's really nothing that's tying you down, like, you know, like a family or something like that. And the thought of, I'm better off leaving these people alone. Because like depression is so many thoughts of worthlessness, so many thoughts of hurting yourself, and there's so many thoughts of people are better off without me. If I'm not here, that's the best thing for them. So sometimes you see people doing things, and they're doing things with that person in mind. Of by me pulling myself away and me not talking and me not being there, I'm helping this person because I'm not dragging them down in all the stuff that I'm dealing with. Mm-hmm. But a lot of depression symptoms kind of lead to a cycle that keeps depression going. You know, one of the things when we work with people with depression, we almost tell them like, you have to do whatever your first thought is to do, you got to do the opposite. Because your first thought is to push away from people, you need to come closer to people. Mm-hmm. Your first thought is to withdraw, you need to engage. You know what I mean? Like, because those things can keep it going. But in saying that and fully understanding that, it doesn't mean that Issa has to take him back.
No.
She can fully understand what he's going through and then look at it like, at the point I am in my life, I can't deal with that.
And that's what Ashley was saying too.
Or I'm not ready for that.
Ashley was like, Ashley was like, no, she shouldn't take him back because at the point she's at in her life, like she don't need that drama in her, like in the way Ashley said it was, she don't need that drama in her life. And, you know, my response to that was, I understand that. You can't look at every person like that. Like, and you know, you can't, I'm not saying that you have to take somebody back if they depressed, right? You don't have to give them another chance, and she's completely well within her rights, and there's nothing wrong with her doing that. But I also don't want there to be this notion that no, you don't need drama in your life, like you just need to keep shit stable and perfect right now, because Issa's life is anything but that. And part of living is being able to deal with the drama that's inevitably going to come your fucking way. Like, you are not going to be able to avoid all that drama like that. Nathan is absolutely some drama she could be avoiding, and it could be in her best interest too. It also could not be in her best interest too. You don't know. We don't know that. We don't know what type of person he is. We don't know how deep the depression is. We really don't know what's going on with him. And we also don't know fully what's going on with her. Like, she's finally getting her legs up under her, standing on her own too. So that's what's up. I feel like it's way more complicated than just being like,
no, it's a nuanced thing, because like both sides, there's no right or wrong. Both sides can be right. You can take them back. You cannot. It's your choice.
Right.
The only thing that Issa needs to do is doing what she did, which was focusing on herself. So that way, when you go to make the choice, you know that you're making a decision that you want to make. Yeah. And you're not making a decision that's motivated by something else. You're not making a decision that's motivated by desperation. You're not making the decision that's motivated by you being lonely. You know what I mean? That's the only time you got to get yourself together, so that way you can make that decision. Do I want to go through this and stuff like that?
Which is weird, because like she needed this then. If you look at the way she was acting, trying to get with the obsessed like, if you look at the way she was acting, let's say Nathan would have popped right back up, right? After 3 days, she's obsessed as fuck. He pops back up. And then after that, he disappears for a week. And then he pops back up. So it's kind of like he's training her to deal with his bouts of depression and him leaving. And she latches, that makes their bond is strong, but it's toxic now. He leaves, she goes into this state of obsession. He comes back, she all lovey-dovey again, till he leave again. And then she going through these bouts of obsession. And it just keeps repeating itself. She says in this episode, I need time. She needed that time. It was wrong for him to ghost, but also she needed that time from him to realize what she was doing and to break that cycle. Cause she'd been doing that shit for 2 seasons and 7 episodes. That cycle needed to change. Like, I don't think that we would have gotten the ending that we got this episode if Nathan had just popped back up. Like normal. I just don't think, like, she needed that time away from him. She needed that time to realize she can't depend on no nigga. She needed that time to realize she needed to focus on herself. She needed all of that time to become the person that we saw at the end of this season, which to me is a metamorphic state, like metamorphosis of Issa. right? That's what
Like,
we saw. She's grown as a character, and she's turning 30. Milestones have been reached, and we can continue on these journeys now. Like, we can see what she's going to do with her newfound wisdom of 30 and
yeah,
shenanigans and shit.
yeah. I think like showing that and having that being, because that was a reason that if everybody sat here and listed all the reasons why Nathan was gone, that wasn't a reason that came up to people's head. You know what I mean?
Depression.
So
Nope. Everybody
yeah,
was like, he fucking around. He married. He got a woman.
yeah, like,
We all
so,
was
yeah,
negative.
so it took people aback, and it made people see. I think my girl was telling me one time that one of the conversation was a dude who talked about him going through the same thing, like struggling with the same thing when it comes to depression. And he felt that it was eye opening because he said, I always understood, but I got to see it from the perspective of where my significant other is coming from. Because the show is shown through like Issa's eyes. So he got to see that even though he felt it, and even though he understood, and even though he apologized all of that, he felt like I got to see from that perspective and see how powerful and hurting that like how hurtful that can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. Like if you have a mental illness that affects you like that, it's going to hurt your family, your significant other is going to do that. And the only thing that helps is everybody know that they're here for the right reasons. Because if you know I'm here for the right reason, I'm here for you, then you can work through this stuff as long as both parties are willing to work with it. Issa's going to get to that point where she's able to make a legit decision of whether she wants to do it. Because it didn't appear like she took it as, oh, you just lying and stuff like that. I think she took it as she understood, but like understanding doesn't
make it okay.
I tell people all the time, like your logic and your emotions are two different things. Understanding logically why something happens doesn't take away the emotional impact that it has.
Yeah.
And he fully came in there knowing that. That's why he looked the way he did. That's why he felt contrite in the way he was. Because he was knowing like all I can do is tell you the truth and hope that you are willing to talk to me later. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's where he went through it. So I thought it was a very good way to address it. Like they address things very well in this show without like being heavy-handed or even having to go directly at it. They don't have to say it. They trust that their audience is smart enough to put two and two together.
So let's say they're dealing with a character that eventually we might find out is bipolar. Like, if that is the case, then they've done something that a lot of shows do not do with dealing with characters who suffer from a mental illness, right? They did not have him act just crazy for no fucking reason. Typically, when they show people go through a manic state or a depressive state, like, it's so exaggerated. And that's not what I see when I see people going through that stuff online. It's normal conversation. It's just, this is what I'm dealing with right now today. You know, they're not out running the streets trying to paint, like learn to spray paint a mural the first time and call themselves Banksy when they manic, you know, and they're not trying to hang themselves when they depressed. They just, today I feel good, or last week I felt amazing, and today I don't feel so good. That you see those conversations on Twitter.
Like, sometimes I've seen those extremes. Like I work with those extremes. You know, those do exist. But like you said, like that's the only picture that the media portrays when they portray mental health or mental illnesses. And that's why so many people, when I've had people come to me and they would talk to me about stuff, and I'll be like, you sound depressed. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then like I'll literally go through the criteria with them and they'll be like, oh. And I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it can do that. I remember, you know, because depression can be from the person who struggles with it due to the chemical imbalance of something that's been struggling all life to you just going through some hardships for a time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's the range, that's the spectrum of it. And I always tell people, like, when a diagnosis is just a snapshot of your behaviors right now, and this could change. I remember coming out of college and graduating and couldn't find a job. It was like what 07, so we in the midst of the recession. You know what I mean? Couldn't find a job in my field. I'm sitting there folding clothes at Kohl's, right? You know what I mean? I went back, living back at my parents' house. You know what I mean? Like, and there were times where I just did not get out of bed. I just did not look up jobs and stuff. And I remember my mom coming in one day, and your mom walk in the room and you like pop up like you doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm about to look. I'm about to put in some applications and stuff like that. And she looked at me and she like, here, get up, here's some money, go outside, just do something. Like, you are wallowing in yourself right now. Like,
it happens.
Do something. Like, so I think people understanding that mental health is more than those people who have those extremes, and more than those people who might suffer from it every single day. It happens. Depression comes at people due to life circumstances, due to things that are going on. And the more that we can kind of be like, have these conversations and make it normal, the more that we can actually get people some help. And you might be surprised about the people in your own life that are dealing with it.
It's It's like I want to touch on this because I don't want to expound on this too much because we got to get back to this show. So you had brought up that one of Keisha's friends was like they had never seen it from the other side, right? The person with the person suffering, and that's interesting because this week I discovered a podcast called Sex with Strangers, and they had a conversation. It's a Black podcast. They had a conversation about Black women like go through depression too, or something like that was the name of the episode. In the episode, one of the hosts was talking about how she suffers from depression. Like, she's like, I'm going through it, and niggas don't be understanding me. And one of the other co-hosts is a guy, and he's like, well, your depression is different. You got some people that go through depression, and they don't try to do nothing to fix it. They don't try to do nothing to do this. And she's explaining, no, nigga, it doesn't work like that. Like, you don't know what they've been trying to do to get out of their depression. Yada 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 yada. While I think the conversation was helpful and I thought it was informative, I also think it had these moments where it was like you have two sides of the coin not understanding what the other side is going through. And it's really weird to hear this conversation because we put so much emphasis sometimes into dealing with the people with depression and what they're going through and talking about that and getting very vocal and writing about that and studying that. But I don't see a lot of conversations about what the people dealing with the people going through depression are going through. Like, Intervention was a show that kind of showed that. They would talk to the family members and how does this make you feel and how does this do this? Because at those times, both of those people need therapy, but showing these things from Issa's viewpoint of like, listen, I understand you going through this. I understand that you're dealing with this. That doesn't make it okay for me. And that's something that people have to get to deal with, because if you deal with somebody that suffers from stuff like that, you start to have you suffer too. You might not suffer the same way, but you suffer too. And there was a moment where there were times where I thought I had depression, and I don't have depression. What I have is this feeling of helplessness, right? Because I'm looking at somebody suffering and I'm like, I can't help them. All I can be is supportive, but I cannot help. I cannot fix this for them. I'm a Capricorn. We like to fix shit. I cannot fix this for them. And that shit is very defeating. You're just sitting there and you're watching somebody that you care about go through that shit and you can't help them. All you can do is be a shoulder. That shit is difficult, man. And you are a person that goes through your stuff too on a daily basis. Like, being a shoulder is hard too. It is a lot. Like, you got to temper yourself to deal with stuff like that. You can't, like, I hate to say it, I don't want to use the term crazy, but everybody can't be in their own right in that situation. Somebody has to be tempered. Somebody has to maintain and, progress forward until that other person is ready to come back.
No, compassion fatigue is the number one thing that takes out counselors. That like compassion fatigue, burnout, because when you're like being a helper, you have to almost put your stuff aside to deal with that. And even when it's not your own people, that's why there's such a high turnover rate. You know, that's why hey, you remember me telling you for a good couple years, like I'm ready to quit. You remember? Like I'm done. You know what I mean? I can't do this no more. You know, because that's where it got. And then the situation where we both talked about how our girls were going through shit at the jobs and just being unhappy and horrible. And like you said, that helplessness, you can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? And it's draining because you're like, I have to be strong. I have to be the rock. I have to be the one to pull it through. I need to be the one to solve it, but I can't figure out how to solve it. So that sucks. While also going through your own stuff, but then you want to come home, you don't want to complain about your stuff because you know they got real stuff. Like,
well,
it's a lot.
It's not even. I don't want to label it as. And I swear to God, we're gonna go back to the show after this. I don't want to label it as real stuff because the problems that you deal with while dealing with somebody who's going through it is real stuff. It's the reason that we might not necessarily see it as important or real stuff is because of how we internalize and deal with it. We manage it better. We don't suffer from whatever chemical imbalance that people may associate with that, or simply just that state of mind of the person when they're going through it the way they go through it. We don't handle it that way. We're able to better manage our shortcomings, our bouts of just frustrating shit that could drive them in a completely different way through their depression, right? We don't handle it that. And that's something that being with Ashley took me to figure that out, right? I always understood that I thought differently than a lot of people, and the way I looked at things was more like, yo, it ain't that serious. But for a lot of people, they can never see it that way. And and sometimes it's a gift to be able to look at a situation and be like, oh, bro, it ain't that serious. And sometimes it's a curse. That's how motherfuckers end up having heart attacks and dying in their apartment. Because while other people go to the doctor for every little, creak and crack that they feel in their body, and you're like, oh man, you exaggerating. Other people like me don't never go to the hospital when we going through shit. So like my back could be literally broke on the right side. And I'm walking around like, nah, nigga, I'm good. This ain't that bad, nigga. I can walk for another 20 minutes before I got to sit down. Like going through that shit like that is also unhealthy, and that's as an example, but you handle it differently, which is why you can be that support. So,
yeah, but like but sometimes it's hard to be that support because you still are going through your stuff.
Oh hell
too.
Yeah!
So then you're looking for who do I support? When I work with mothers all the time, I'd be like, when you sitting there trying to keep your family, your work, your kids, and you trying to keep all those glasses full, who is putting stuff in your picture to keep you full? Who where's that happening at? And that's where the trickle down comes.
Yeah.
And that's when, like you were saying, when the mental illness doesn't just affect that person, it affects all their loved ones too.
It's
and
hard,
so there's some truth to when a person that's depressed, like, be like, I'd rather not do this to people, and then go away. Like there's some truth there, but it's not the way to handle it, and that's not the way to go, about it. But there's understanding there. So I think having a show that is focused on Black people, but that also talks about mental health is amazing. You know what I mean? Because Black people don't talk about it a lot. It's kind of one of those things that just kind of
taboo.
Yeah. Whether it be like we got other racism and shit we dealing with, or even some people from the church who be like, you just got to pray that junk. You know what I mean? Like, like mental health already has a taboo, and it really has a taboo in the Black audience. So for them to even address it in this way and have people talking about it, and have people coming out from both sides saying, like, I've experienced that and I've been on that junk, that's just amazing.
Right. All right. So that's Issa's story. We'll come back to the show enough event and some Kellyisms. But let's go ahead and wrap up Molly, since we basically already at the end of that.
Nigga Molly.
Yeah, so Molly goes back to work after this fight with Issa. And when she shows up, Torian is coming out of his office and he's walking across. And she doesn't know where he's going, but she bumps into him with his little plaid suit and his big head. And she's like, hey, Torian, I was just coming to see you so we could start working on this case together. Co-leadership and shit is great, right? Black people winning. And Torian is like, no, actually, you got this.
I love it. She was like, you want to do we want to start with the state stuff or the federal things, or like she got plans and stuff.
But it's the way she presented it too, like, oh, we buddy. And Torian's like, no, nigga, we not cool. And
Nah,
Torian is like, actually,
Nah, man.
you can juggle that however you want to with both your hands and none of mine, because I'm not a part of this group anymore. I switched
He's
over
like-
to the other case, to
he's like-
the murder, the Reams death case, or so whatever they called it.
No. And what made it great though, he was like, "Oh, I told the parties that you could more than handle it."
He set her up. I mean, and
Nice.
I can't even be mad because I literally just said earlier in this episode that's kind of how I would handle it. If and not to be a dick, but also to be like, hey, if you want to jump out there and do stuff like that, hey, that's cool. Good luck on that win. And clearly, this case isn't as important as Molly thought it was, because if it was that type of case that could put you on a partner path, then I don't think Torian would have left. Like there was this idea that he's trying to become a partner, right? Or maybe Torian just likes to show off on his regular cases and just enjoys his position the same way the other black women that she looked down on didn't. And what she failed to miss was that these people like working these cases more than they're looking at becoming partners.
Yeah, like I think for me, seeing this whole thing let us know that like we're only seeing everybody that we're seeing in that office is through Molly's eyes.
Yeah.
So we don't have the full story of them. And she's been constantly surprised every time she goes into that office, you know what I mean? And misreading where people are. So it could be a thing where like, Torian does do that, but he's not the asshole we all made him out to be, because that's where we jumped to. Me included. We all jumped like, this nigga's asshole.
Okay. So, okay.
Look, again, I'm not excusing him. I'm just saying like there's other parts.
I guarantee you don't know where I'm going. I guarantee you don't know where I'm about to go.
Okay.
So yes, I am on he's still an asshole, but I still think Torian is being petty as fuck. And I think this is like somebody said to me on Twitter, deal with the devils you know. And the same thing for the two women bringing him onto their team. When I don't think they even need the help like that. But if he would rather work with them than work with Molly, fuck it, we'll use the extra set of hands and we'll teach her a lesson. Here's my thing. Look at Torian's face. Look at Torian's face in this scene where those two women are like, "Hi, Molly, hi." And I love the way they both say it. It has absolutely no emotion, but it also says, this bitch. Like, it's hi, Molly, hi.
Their faces look exactly like, not exactly, but it had that same amount of gravitas that it had when they saw her in that dress and saw her go in the Torian office.
Right.
Oh, like, bitch, we see you.
Yep, we see you. You standing in our doorway.
And they looked at her this time like, we see you.
And here's my thing. I feel like Torian is hiding behind them like a little brat in Walmart hide behind his mother's skirt after doing some shit.
He was not looking up. He was looking down. Those two black women were staring at her face.
And then he looked up and he had this evil ass Grinch grin of, have fun. Like, my mother's is protecting me. Hee hee hee. I'm good. And I'm kind of looking at him like, you still a bitch.
But look, like we said before, like, remember we all talked about when you first get to a place, you need to fill out the culture, the environment, you know what I mean? The office politics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Molly thought she had a hand on the office politics day 2.
But wasn't talking to nobody.
Yes. You know what I mean? So she made a lot of assumptions and jump here.
Man, I'll tell you what I've learned.
But not realizing that, hey, like you said, we might know all of our quirks, but we do know how to work together because we've been doing this for a long time.
You better learn.
It becomes between you being new and the people we already know. I'm going with the people I already know.
Devil I know. You better learn your new environment as fast as possible, very passively, subtly flying under the radar, because it's gonna be some shit that you notice that you thought you had figured out and you didn't. I'll tell you one thing that I see in corporate America all the time. Talking behind people's back and smiling super, super wide grins up in their fucking face. I absolutely don't understand the culture of white men who put up with other white men's bullshit but then shake their hand at the end of every meeting, walk literally 2 feet out the door and start talking shit about them.
Not even shake their hand, like actively go search them out to shake their hand.
Bruh, I'm telling you.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
Go find these people to make a big show about how I'm shaking your hand.
Bruh, you will see people embrace each other in the workplace. Like they have drinks together every night after work, and you could build a sitcom around their friendship. And then you will hear them about that same person say the most foul shit. And it's like, bruh. And you got to be careful with that, because see, it's a lot of shit that other people can say about people in the workplace that you can't say. And I've had to learn that culture real fast. Like, I'm not talking about that person. I'm not mentioning that person's name. I'm not saying nothing negative about them, because the people you be talking to that be acting like it's cool, will that shit get back to the person you was talking about, and they'll present it standing on that person's side of the fence. That shit is rugged as fuck, bro.
Especially when you knew.
Oh, hell yeah.
Especially when you knew. When you knew, you need to close your eyes and observe.
Bro,
That's
I'm telling
all you
you,
need to do.
the culture funky as fuck, dog. Like, you gotta know. You basically, these are the people I talk about. I talk about people that can't do shit to me. Those are the only people I talk about. Like, if I'm talking about you, that means I don't fear shit you can do to me.
Nope, you can't get me fired. You can't go talk to nobody. You ain't got no connections.
But you ain't gonna never hear me speak on somebody that could like take my job, dog. Dude, like, you gonna never hear me speak on nobody that could fuck up my shit.
Dude, I done sit there and like I done had those things where me and dude I work with, I'd be like, man, how you feel about that? He'll look at me. That's above my pay grade.
Nigga, I say that all the time. I be in the room.
That's above my pay grade.
I will walk into my boss's office. I'll be like, listen, I've tried to communicate this thing to this person like 50 million times, but I'm gonna roll the ball over to you because this shit is above my pay grade. And I'll just walk out the office, and he'd be like, okay, hold on, let me get on the phone. I'll be like, thank you. Yeah. Going about my business.
Like, this is not my job. This is not my area.
I mean, if y'all want me to handle this the way Brandon would handle it, then y'all can increase the salary, give me that bump. But if you ain't about to give me that bump, I ain't about to walk over there and tackle this issue. I'm telling you, bro. I'm saving my energy for my mundane shit. Not doing it. So you gotta understand that too. You got to. So Molly put herself in this fucking box. And the 3 people that are important in her situation, see, she out. I don't even know. It's gonna take time.
Dude,
it's gonna take time.
She tried to play office politics without knowing all the story.
Nah. Nope. Nah.
And that shit came back to bite her.
She felt lonely as fuck because she went home and called Andrew.
Yeah.
That's how lonely she felt. She went home and called Andrew, and my man is playing Halo, Call of Duty.
Dude, she's sitting there and she like, everything Issa said was true.
I'm alone.
I ain't about his life.
That bitch is a witch. She made it.
You know what I mean?
She made it happen. I must have really pissed her off. She cast a spell on me. It's the craft. She called Andrew, Asian Bay, and Andrew is sitting on his couch shooting a commercial for shampoo products or something. I don't know why his head is just sitting floored about the leather like that, but sure. Listen, if I could bask in my house like that, if I could look like Andrew and bask on my couch, I would never get up.
Dude, I'm sitting there, right? And my girl was like, I heard about this scene. So I'm thinking something about to happen. I'm like, what you mean? Like, don't tell me. And she's like, nah, just about Asian Bay with his hair out.
Just look at him.
I was like, so I didn't really pay no attention to it. So I looked up. I was like, this good looking nigga right here.
This beautiful ass man. Look at this beautiful nigga.
Looking motherfucker. And he's not even trying.
Bro, he ain't doing shit. He's in a regular t-shirt that me or you could have picked up from Walmart, sitting on a couch playing video games.
Playing video games. I'm playing, look. Most time I'm doing this podcast, I'm playing video games. I don't look like that.
Never look like that. I don't even know from which degree I would have to hit the angle to be able to look like that playing video games.
I thought there was just wind blowing in the background.
Nigga, he inside and there's a breeze. It's just a hair breeze though. It's not anything else. His mustache ain't moving or nothing. It's just a hair breeze.
Just hair. How you get your hair that like just in him answering the phone and holding it with his shoulder, his hair just fell perfectly?
Like
That's what happened.
Like before that, he was playing the game on the microphone talking about something. I can't believe it's not butter.
No,
Like that's all this nigga doing.
I'm gonna need y'all to keep that nigga hair up in a bun or something,
Bruh.
Like he already cute enough. You got to with his hair up in a bun. You can't have his locks just waving luxuriously. Like what the rest
They
of us
got me watching this. They got me watching this episode like DC Young Fly. You old Corinne Bailey Ray looking ass, let your hair down ass nigga.
Man. I got to walk out. I got to look at my girl, and when she say stuff, I got to be like, "You right, you right." Like she's something like that nigga fine. Like you right. Ain't nothing I can say. Oh, good looking ass nigga shit.
The motherfucking old 21 degrees Fahrenheit looking ass nigga, breeze blowing ass nigga. You old catch the wave ass looking ass nigga.
Dude. That dude like he just did the hard days of work, but didn't break a sweat.
Nothing, nigga, ain't break a sweat. Like you know what the fuck? You old Marvel.
Like he gonna come over and fix your sink, and then he gonna put his hair up, but that's what he gonna look like.
You old Marvel hero who plucked Thanos out the picture looking ass nigga.
Yo, half thought, half Loki ass looking nigga.
Then he hit her with the man with the I'm bothered voice. Man, I got shit to do, Molly. I'm over. You fucking up me hitting the X button. I got shit to do, Molly. What's good?
Oh man, you said it in a way that she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I can see your hair from here. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. Like,
you old sensitive about to get the pussy though ass nigga.
No, I'm saying,
nigga.
Look, then what he said to the ear, like he's like when she was talking, and he got quiet. He's like, I'm here. I'm like,
he is Batwan. He right though. That's another double on Andre because he is hair. That nigga's all hair. I'm hair. That nigga's all hair, bro. Like, this nigga. That scene popped
nigga
up.
Had 5. I'm about to go back and time this. That nigga had 5 minutes of screen time this episode,
doing nothing
and captured the world.
Mm-hmm. Nigga ain't doing nothing. Just sitting there being natural.
Dude.
Ridiculous. You old what's a bun ass nigga. You old keto diet ass what's a bun.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Hair ain't got no carbs in it ass nigga.
Out here with a good metabolism but don't do nothing.
Got the fucking nigga. Old hula and hair ass nigga. Man. Oh, 99 problems, but a blowout ain't one ass nigga.
That's what I'm saying. Looking like I woke up like this looking ass nigga.
Nigga.
Goddamn. T Pro V looking ass motherfucker.
Oh, my mirrors be jealous, so they leave ass nigga. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I don't even use a comb ass nigga. Like,
oh, I ain't been in a relationship because I can't stop looking at me ass nigga. Fucking hate him.
Goddamn, man.
Y'all hear the anger.
Your ass.
This nigga forever Asian Bay. Y'all see that new movie with Asian Bay coming out? That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it's gonna be. So
that's his name from now on. He can't. I said whatever his Twitter handle is, that name of that should say Asian Bay.
Yeah. So Molly got hers. So we'll see how she does next season when she returns with old mixed light skin, flowing hair ass babies. Lawrence. So Lawrence is back. They talked about him in the after show too. I think they said they're gonna do more with his story next season. I'm not sure what happened to Daniel. Maybe he'll return. Maybe he's still purging.
They out there making them beats. That's what they do. They out there making them beats.
My God, maybe he could get Asian Bay's hair to flow on him. You old drop the hot mixtape.
His hair's gonna flow on the track.
You old drop the whole follicles mixtape ass nigga.
Man.
Yeah, so he fucking Lawrence is kind of going through it because there's a point where Molly runs into Jared. We'll talk about that in a second, but let me get this part out about Lawrence. She runs into Jared and she assumes this nigga is super gay and she runs off and she bumps into Lawrence. And Lawrence is like, are you okay? And she's like, no, I'm good. My voice ain't high pitched. Don't mean I'm lying. Goodbye. And she runs off. And Lawrence is stuck in another world staring at Issa from a distance, watching Molly run back to their blanket. He is still in love with this woman. Like, I think he is truly, truly in love with her ambition. I mean, this nigga brought her raisins. You know, the chocolate covered raisins at the movie Raisinets or whatever the fuck they called. so she could watch. He sat down on a blanket for a cool minute, reintroduced himself, got up and went back. His conversation with Chad, where Chad is like, you know, he holding his fiance's purse because she using the porta potty. We ain't gonna never get to see this woman. We just get to see remnants of her existing, but we don't actually ever get to see her. He's holding his fiance's bag that he brought for her because that shit is expensive. Because he was Keith Sweat begging and pleading for her to come back, doing some Barry White, ate the pussy many a nights, apologized to her aunties, and watched a whole lot of Project Runway to get back up in there. And he back up in there, and he like, look, nigga, if it come between me having to work with a new bitch versus working with what I got, then listen, I'm not trying to put in no extra work on no newness. Plus, she get a bomb his head, nigga. So that's Chad's story at this point. Plus he called old boy's fro ashy. Yeah, Lawrence is he really stuck there, bro. And it's gonna be interesting next season because he is talking to the girl he met at Tiffany's baby shower, who is working with Issa on her getting her music with the Q shit back up and running, who was the person who put together the whole Last Dragon watch party at the cemetery. And she is a divorcee. So we know she mature. She's a little different than the other girls too. Cause she clearly, if she wanted Tiff, she's like one of Tiffany's friends, but one of Tiffany's cool down to earth ass friends.
Yeah. My girl was looking at it like, look at Issa making new friends.
With Lawrence's new friends.
And I think Lawrence always, there's always going to be that spot for her there. I don't know if it necessarily means that he's looking to get back with her or anything, but like there's just going to always be that spot. I think he could look at it now and like, I don't hold all that anger. You know what I mean? Like that's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's good for both of them.
You in a window, nigga? These fucking head jokes.
No. Oh man,
the fucking head jokes were accurate. That nigga with the fade do got a big ass head. Chad was like, nigga, you got to sit behind us, okay? Ain't nobody trying to look through your big ass head. That nigga was in the Adidas jumpsuit or whatever with that big ass head looking like a tree, walking through there. Yeah, sir, you gotta sit down. You in a window, nigga? Yo, I loved it when he said that because you know Natasha be in the writing room, like she was giggling when she heard that shit. Kelly is laughing on the blanket after that nigga said that. That shit's great.
And there ain't nothing he could say. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, you right. My bad.
You right. I do got a big ass head.
I'm moving.
We get to see his pops this episode. They have a conversation. He's helping his dad set up his voicemail on his phone, and that nigga don't know when to stop talking.
I still think his dad inadvertently left the best voicemail message though.
Oh no, that shit was dope. Like that shit letting you know whose phone you called, and it gave you a proverb. Like you can learn.
And give you wisdom at the same time.
Right. Leave a message. Make it good. Life's a waste. Don't fuck up. God.
I was like,
damn, that's real.
I like that. That's good,
I got to leave a real message now.
You know what I'm saying, man?
I got to use my degree.
I gotta think about this message before I leave it with you.
I ain't never thought about having to use my degree to leave no voicemail, but I got to now. That is inspiring. Shit, I'm gonna go do something in my life after this voicemail. You know, him and his dad are just talking about women, and you know, Lawrence too is looking for the perfect situation. His dad's like, "Boy, you think it was perfect between me and my mama? You think your mother's an easy woman? You nigga, we both was fucked up in the beginning." Like
the thing is, and this is so real because you probably experienced it too, is when you're a kid, you see your parents in a certain way.
Nigga.
And the older you get,
nigga,
the more you start to see, and then the more you start to look back and realize shit wasn't as rosy as you thought.
Nigga, me and my sister have had so many conversations. Like, were they always like this? It's like, did they always do this? And you started thinking back, you like, I don't, like, there's not a point where there's some actions you look at and you go, oh yeah, they was always doing that. And I just never noticed it for that. But there are other new things that you see with your grown ass eyes. And you're like, I never, like, did this just start? Or have they always been doing this? And as a kid, your mind is not developed enough to register.
Your mind, you didn't know nothing about it. You didn't know, like, the nuance, like, you didn't know nothing. That's basically it. And like when you see it, it's like, man, like who put the shades down and blocked my life? Like
Bruh,
I thought I knew, but I
you be
did not
sitting
know.
on the couch listening to your parents talk at 30 plus years old sometimes, and you be like, bruh, that's me and my girl.
Dude, I don't know if you feel like me, but like I sit there and listen to my dad and I laughed one time because I was sitting there like, yo, that's exactly how I talk to my girl.
Nigga.
Exactly. I laughed right there. I like exactly. And all that I remember saying was, thank you, Dad, for being a stand-up dude who won right here calling my mama a bitch and a hoe and all that stuff when you got mad.
Bruh, because that would have been
Because I would guarantee I would have been doing that. Because like the same cadences, the same way, everything. Like I was like, it was creepy. You know what I mean? But it makes perfect sense because you're like, this is what you saw every day for, at least the first 18 years of your life.
I think like when you're a kid, if you have like parents like we did, right? I don't want to necessarily just parents like we did, but I also do want to big up my parents because my parents is better than y'all's parents because they my parents. When you look at your parents and you're like, yo, my parents are heroes, right? And despite all the faults that you might see as a kid, it doesn't matter because they're still heroes. They're still larger than life because they're your parents, right? They do some amazing shit. And then when you get older and you start to see that they are flawed and they are human, it's two ways that could go, right? For me, I don't want to say it's two ways. It's a lot of ways that probably could go. I know for me, it made them more bigger than life and more heroes to me to see that they are flawed human beings, right? Because I think the more that you see that a person maintained a certain type of quality and a certain type of style about them, and yet you see them get closer to being down to earth, but they still maintain that shit, that kind of added to them their own little glow, their own special glow. That shit makes them more heroes to me. But you also realize that it takes a lot to be that type of parent. Cause there are a lot of people who find out that their parents dealing with things and suffer from things from the way that stuff is taken out on them. The fact that your parents might have been dealing with all of that stuff while raising you, but never really took it out on you.
That shit's amazing.
It is amazing, right? You got to take some of that. You got to take that shit into perspective. Because my parents absolutely were not fucking perfect. No, like far from perfect. But nobody should ever aspire to be perfect. That shit is crazy, nigga. Like if you think you perfect, you crazy. But they also were nowhere near bad parents, or not even. They weren't even decent parents. They were good parents. Like, and I think like words like good or great or bad or whatever, to sum it up for real, they were the best parents they could be being them. That shit is wild. So like Lawrence's dad having this conversation with him, like, bruh, no, I'm every day I'm trying to be the best husband I can. And I feel like that's the same way every day with you, I was trying to be the best father I could. One day at a time, dog. So that conversation at the table kind of put Lawrence's shit. I gave him a bit more perspective to work with. Cause Issa fucked up, don't mean she unfuckwittable, right? Don't mean she a terrible person. Don't mean that they shouldn't be together. People make mistakes. People learning. Plus, they all young. She just turned 30.
Yeah, that's another thing I look at it too is I got to look at these people, understand that they all a good 4 to 5 years younger than I am. So when I was going through these things, like I can kind of look back and remember,
right?
You know what I mean? But like I think every man that has a good relationship with their father has had that conversation where you going through something and you go to talk to your dad, and again you look at them because you like, man, like you did this, you did that, you kept this balance, Like I remember looking at my dad and being like, you worked at this place that try to break your back every day, but you still at, all my games, and you still willing to go out there and play ball with me when I needed to and all that stuff. And then him being real and being like, there were some days where I just told you no. You know what I mean? Where I couldn't do it, but I didn't. But I'm a kid. I don't remember the no's. You know what I mean? I remember the times he said yes. You know what I mean? I remember the times he was out there, but like be like, nah, this junk is not easy. And there were plenty of days where I didn't think I was gonna make it, or there was times where I didn't know what I was going to do. But you know, you looking down at your dad like that dude, he in control. He know exactly what's gonna happen. You know, every time something goes on, I can lean on him. But like that's what you're supposed to be as a parent. You're supposed to look invincible. And then we get older and we realize that you weren't invincible, which, like you said, makes you look even stronger. And then we trying to sit there and hold it together as much as we can when we have kids, when we have the next generation, so they can maybe grow up and think, look, my parents are invincible too. You just keep this shit going.
Yep. So I like that they introduced that conversation, that old man perspective, wisdom that some of us need. And, you know, Chad got his perspective. You know, you know, I did some shit. She accepted that shit and she took me back. What he said specifically, because I like the way he said it. It was very Chadism. Lawrence was getting education from not just his pops, but from another nigga who decided to grow the fuck up for a hot second. I did a thing. She forgave that thing, and that's it. And then that was followed up with I did a whole lot of begging and shit as well. Nigga gotta do what he gotta do. His explanations was very chadish, but chadish is so close to childish. But he did what he had to do to get his fiance back. And sometimes, nigga, that's what you gotta do. And he looking at Issa now. Well, damn, if Chad wife took him back, this nigga one of the dirtiest niggas I know. Then what Issa did, that hoe shit she did, she just did some hoe shit. Maybe that's forgivable. I don't know. You gotta see what your future holds, because right now he really into that long ponytail girl. That's a very long ponytail. So we'll see how that goes. And I like her. Like, I like her spirit. I like her energy. We'll see what's up with her next season if he gets in with that. She seems to be like a community helpful person, and she seems like she'd also be a good friend for Issa, but we'll see how that goes, because now she dating she gonna end up being fucking Issa man. Old man. But we talked about Nathan, so that is still there. Molly and Jared. What? Nigga. Is Molly homophobic, bruh? Like, I need answers. I need answers.
Dude. You watch Random Acts of Flyness, right?
I've watched the first episode.
All right, well, that's all you need to watch. I'm about to talk about the first episode.
All right.
So you remember in the part where they had a little talk about sexuality, right?
Yes, my man that was talking about going on the dates and the dresses and stuff, and how old girl fled and shit.
But they were talking about the invisibility of the bisexual black man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of her, you know, going back to the first season, of her sharing that she experimented and was, you know, but that was all cool. But when he experimented, she looked at him like, oh, so you gay. You know what I mean? And even when he put it back on her, like, are you gay? She's like, no, but it's like, it's different for me and all that stuff. So the fact that this dude just sitting in line, she sees him, she probably started feeling a little certain thing, right?
No, she was feeling him. Like, she was ready to throw it in the bag.
Just a dude just come back, and he ain't like rub on that nigga. And like, all he just walked there like, hey man, I'm gonna meet you back at the jump where we at.
Can you give me a drink or something like that? And it was the way he said that, I guess, to her, she was like, oh, they together. But
she instantly, cause that's what she wanted, cause that's what she was thinking before when she left them. Not even thinking that she got 3 people she know. She and shuck her eye when Lawrence popped up, and Lawrence like, hey, you know how y'all doing over here? And you know, like, oh, I'm just coming to see this, but you know, I'm over there with
Chad and the boys.
She ain't back no eye in. Nah. You know what I mean? She ain't blink and look weird then, but because she think that a nigga, and then to go back so quick to Issa be like, yo, I saw the nigga, he got a boyfriend and stuff. Like, see, I was right. I knew that nigga was gay and everything like that. But and
Issa was like, how's he doing? Issa was like, she was like, girl, I just saw Jared. And Issa was like, well, how's he doing? And she said, nigga, gay. I was like, whoa. Like, and I know people are like, well, I don't think Molly is homophobic because of this. But like, what signs point to her not being homophobic?
Dude, we had this talk with the first time when it first happened in the first season.
Yeah, what signs point to Molly not being homophobic? Like, that she puts up with Issa's brother? Like what are the signs that show she's not homophobic? Because she judged Jared when he had that one time he experimented and she dumped his ass. Then she runs into him again and she assumes that the other light-skinned nigga he talking to, he fucking, ends up being his brother. But not even just that. You can have assumptions and be wrong. She literally ran from this nigga. Like, she tried to escape the conversation as soon as she realized, oh, this nigga really is gay and I was right. And I don't want nothing to do with him. Like, I can't even talk to him. Then when he was coming over there to talk to her with the nigga she assumed he was fucking, we find out that that's his brother. She starts acting all fucking weird again, and she's like, "Oh, y'all be quiet, y'all be cool, he coming over, y'all be cool."
Look, when he introduced the stuff, that look that Kelly gave her,
nigga,
like
everybody,
like nigga,
everybody.
But it's that thing of when a male, and especially black men, when they say they're bisexual, or even bisexuality looked at through the lens of other people and other people who are gay and lesbian themselves, like, oh, you just playing one side, or you're really this, but you haven't made a choice yet, or you don't know what you are yet. You know what I mean? She looked at him, was like, nope, you got to be. If you went with a guy, you gay,
right? And
that's just all it is. But when she was put in the same situation, and we're like, would that make you gay? And she's like, no. You know what I mean?
That's just running from people. Like, why she couldn't still have a conversation with this man, despite him being gay or not? I just don't. And I love the way that it was like he came up. He's a regional manager and stuff now. So that whole looking down on him for his job. Well, you can't do that no more. So you got to find something wrong with him. And the fact that him being possibly bisexual is what's wrong with him. I just don't see what signs point to Molly not being homophobic. I ain't seeing it. I just don't see it. She lied to this nigga and said she was fasting. She was just standing in line to get food and told this nigga she had to get out of line because she forgot she was fasting and it's Ramadan. Nigga. All of that unnecessary shit. So shout out to Jared, man. He living his best life without her. Got him a nice dark-skinned woman. Get it, bruh. Winning. Light-skinned niggas with brown-skinned girls. Winning, nigga. What the fuck? That whole scene was wild. That shit just blew my mind. I'm like, why she still acting like this around gay people? And even with Issa playing with her the whole episode, you my girlfriend, and her grabbing her, you my girlfriend. That's cool. Like you said, that's all cool. That's fun and games, ha ha ha. But yeah, Jared possibly being gay is problematic. Like, I can't fuck with no nigga that's gay. Even though he not gay. And you did fuck with him. Or fuck him. That part. I'm trying to figure out what else is there left. I mean, there's Kelly and Quantrell, and the fact that she set that blanket up.
Nigga, didn't think that nigga was Quantrell, then at the end found out the nigga really was Quantrell.
I wonder how long she talked to him before she realized it was Quantrell.
Remember she came back, she said that was Quantrell, and
now we back together. We back together.
But she didn't seem happy.
No, nigga, in what world do you get back with somebody and you look miserable already?
You know what I'm saying? Like, she came back and was like, that was Quantrell, and we dated again. But like, she did not look happy at all.
She's like, oh, now I gotta go take this nigga dick. We back together. What the fuck? What the fuck? She used birthday hats as cones so people wouldn't sit in a spot on that big ass blanket, which absolutely was way too big for all three of them to be sitting on.
She was like, we gonna have room. I'm not about to have this Coachella up here and be fighting a white bitch.
Bruh, she had so much room on that big ass blanket. Yeah,
the part where she said that her and Tiffany made up, and Tiffany made her the godmother.
Does that mean she's supposed to take the child if Tiffany died?
She said, yeah, I gotta take care of the child. She's like, would die. She's like, won't her husband do that? She said, girl, that would have been good, girl. If I wouldn't have children, I would have kept mine.
Nigga, she said if I wanted to have kids, I would have kept the last one. I was like, nigga.
Oh my God. Like, Issa looked at her like,
I'm like, okay. Nigga, did she just say that?
I don't know what to say to that. It's like this. Oh, I love her. I love her so much.
She is a mess, dog. She's a fucking mess. All my sex ghosts in this graveyard. Yo, she gotta go. They just running with that character now.
Yeah.
That's all they doing. I think that's it. I think that's pretty
Yeah,
much.
man. I think I can't. We hit Lawrence, Issa, home dude. I can't think of his name right now. Nathan.
Oh, I do want
Molly,
to point out
Kelly,
that Issa was
Asian.
like at the end of talking to Nathan. Issa was like, "Well, I gotta go because my neighbors made a noise complaint about me."
About me. Oh, and we got to like this is probably the first Insecure season to end with Issa at a good place. She moved the stuff in, and it seems like she's really ready to make good moves. And it kind of goes back to the beginning of the season where she like, I'm not gonna say what I am or what I'm about to be because every time I say that, something bad happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And her just being like, I'm not gonna try anything, I'm just gonna exist. And she's in a real good place.
We'll see where it goes next season. So, all right, y'all, that's it. We tried to give y'all the longest episode we could with 2 male voices covering all aspects of the show as best we can without a woman's voice here. But hopefully we'll get some perspectives, some other gendered perspective on this next week when we return with the regular Where's My 40 Acres show. We're not covering any more shows at the moment unless you're a premium person. If you are subscribed to Premium 40 right now, if you have not done that, you can head on over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/WM40A. You can sign up, and what you'll find is that Podvengers is very active with the access that we got to Daredevil for season 3. Yep, we've already seen half of Daredevil season 3, which does not drop until October 19th. You will notice on a date soon. I can't tell y'all. We signed stuff. But you'll notice on a date soon that there will be a full first half review of the season ready for y'all to listen to and available this week. I'm going to do this while I'm at New York Comic Con. You will find a Podvengers episode for the whole season of Iron Fist season 2, which absolutely is a recommendation from us that you go sit down and you watch this shit. We're talking about doing American Vandal season 2 as well. So I'd be looking for that in the next couple of days. In the next week or so. And I'm probably going to try to schedule us to get some eargasms knocked out by the end of October because there's just a lot of music that I kind of want to talk about that recently just came out. None of it is Kanye-ish stuff. And even if Yandi comes out, I'm not listening to that shit. I cannot deal with him right now. So pretty much, yeah. We're going to be talking about some more eccentric artists that people should be listening to that actually put out some dope projects. I can tell y'all right now, you can go ahead and get prepared by listening to Jameson's Velvet. That is absolutely getting a fucking review. And that is probably the best sonically tuned album this year. That shit is on too many levels of greatness. So definitely Jameson, spelled JMSN. And Velvet, it is on Apple, Spotify, it is everywhere. Go check that shit out. It is very, 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 very fucking dope. But let us know what shows y'all might want us to, take a gander at, see what's popping with them. Because right now we're chilling and we'll just be doing Where's My 40 Acre stuff and album review stuff and hopefully a lot more premium stuff. Y'all got to tell this nigga Twan to do Disaster Cast stuff because he just sitting on this shit. I don't know if he's suffering from a depression right now. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he went back to Houston. But this nigga is not doing Disaster Cast.
That's all it is, man. It's been crazy. All I do is write reports now. But it's coming, man. It's coming.
Y'all, this nigga 100% is Spider-Man. Don't let this nigga lie to y'all. Don't let this nigga lie to y'all. Okay? It's not all work. It's not all work. He's been web swing.
It's been a lot of work, but I did 100% Spider-Man. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, don't believe this nigga. Like
I did 100% Spider-Man in 2 weeks. Like
yeah, exactly.
And I held off. I could have did it in the first week.
Exactly.
I really held off because I wanted to stretch the game out.
See where his dedication lies. That is a double on Andre. All right. We'll holler at y'all next time. Premium 40. This isn't Premium 40, but Where's My 40 Acres podcast? Oh my God. Where's My 40 Acres podcast? BoobTube series And I'm going to New York Comic Con, so be looking for those pictures and interviews coming soon. Yeah, we out. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, and don't forget to listen to our movie reviews over at movietrailerreviews.net. Oh, and me and Ashley we watched Ratchet for Napoli Ever After, which is on Netflix.
Napoli
Ever After starring Sanaa Lathan.
Yeah. The one where she actually shaved her head.
Yes.
I remember that.
So be looking for that. That's probably also gonna pop up on Premium this week. Our Napoli Ever After review.
You know what, man? We need to get together and watch that Quincy shit.
We should watch the Quincy shit. I'm sure there's a lot of Ratchet stuff in there. I'm sure he
and I'm sure but it's gonna be so much deep music history because that nigga touched everybody who was black and did music.
Yeah, I believe it. All right, y'all. We'll holler at you. Peace. See you next season because Insecure 4 was already approved by HBO. So there you go.